Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to offer my amendment that transfers funds from government bureaucracy to charter school grants. As a mom raising 4 boys, I understand that families across this country want the best education possible for their children. One size does not fit all when it comes to education and our nation's youth, and education matters are best handled at the state, local, and especially family levels. Charter schools are an important part of the public education landscape because they empower parents to choose a high-quality educational environment for their child, regardless of income or zip code. The unique educational experience of attending charter schools ensures more children have a chance to achieve the American dream. During the first 2 full school years of COVID, nearly 240,000 additional students enrolled in public charter schools. Charter schools were the only sector of public education to grow during the COVID lockdowns. They also serve our nation's marginalized children. A 2021 analysis of research on charter school effects and competitive influence by the National Bureau of Economic Research highlighted trends from 3 decades of research on charter schools. They found that charter schools boost student test scores, particularly for Black, Hispanic, and low-income students, and that attending charter schools increases college enrollment and civic engagement. The competitive impact of charter schools on traditional public schools suggests a beneficial influence on neighboring schools' student achievement. The charter school program is the only program at the Department of Education that supports school choice and allows parents to place their children in a school that works for their unique needs. Parents know how to raise their children better than government bureaucrats and teachers' unions. I urge my colleagues to support my amendment that transfers funds from the government bureaucracy to charter school grants. Mr. Chair, I reserve.
Gentlelady reserves. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Connecticut seek recognition?
Mr. Chair, I claim the time in opposition.
The gentlelady is recognized for 5 minutes.
I rise in strong opposition to this amendment because for me, what this amendment does, it continues that road that's been laid out in this labor HH bill that where the Republicans, where the majority is moving to eliminate public education in the United States. This bill decimates public education by cutting the Department of Education by $22.5 billion, 28%. It seeks to plus up one of the only education programs that received an increase, the charter schools program. They increased it in this bill, cut everything else in public education. We have had some spirited discussions about charter schools on the Labor HHS subcommittee, and there are certainly some differences of opinion around the role that they should play in our public education system and whether they have historically received appropriate oversight by the Department of Education. But for the charter school program, which provides seed money to open new charter schools around the country, we should be in agreement on one point. This program has far more money than the Department of Education knows what to do with. In 2019, months after Secretary DeVos pleaded with our subcommittee for a $60 million increase to the charter schools program, the department approached us with warnings that demand for funding was low. Sure enough, before the end of the year, the department was unable to use the full appropriation and transferred $12 million to other education accounts. That was almost 3% of the program's appropriation. In addition, over the years, our committee discussed issues raised by the Inspector General, including findings that states have mismanaged charter school closures and that the department failed to provide any adequate guidance or oversight on the issue. And I know my colleagues on the other side of the aisle, they want oversight. And that is why we need to continue our oversight of the charter school program with respect to accountability and transparency and success. Many open, many close. And many take people, and then they disgorge people. I'll support charter schools, but not at the risk of eliminating public education in this country, which is one of the issues that is on the agenda of the Republican majority in this Labor H bill. This amendment provides a wasteful increase that would be better directed at restoring some of the underlying bill's disastrous cuts. Let's take a look at those cuts that are disastrous in education. Let's make sure that we are supporting Title I. Let's make sure that we are supporting the development of teachers. Let's make sure that we are looking at promised neighborhoods. Let's make sure that we're dealing with social and emotional learning of our kids, instead of plussing up a program that has enough money to make it and has not had the kind of oversight it needs in order to make sure that it is doing its job. I urge my colleagues to vote no on this amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman from Connecticut reserves. The gentlewoman from Colorado is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to remind folks that I also have an amendment to add funding to the IG's account, and this amendment takes no funds from public school. This is simply giving more choice to families throughout our nation. Transparency is good, and the argument that we just heard was not so good. Parents know how to raise their children better than government bureaucrats, better than politicians. We certainly experienced that during the COVID lockdowns with all the restrictions that we saw to our children's education, the educational experiences that they have lost through those 2 years, or some schools more, of the COVID lockdowns. It was a travesty, and I cannot reiterate enough that parents know how to raise their children better than politicians, better than bureaucrats, better than teachers' unions. We want to strengthen the charter school program, and that's what this amendment does, and I urge adoption. Mr. Chair, I yield.
Gentlewoman yields. Gentlelady from Connecticut is recognized.
I continue my opposition of this amendment, and as I understand it, this is an increase for the Inspector General. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, the Inspector General has done intensive investigation of the charter school movement, and they have findings that the states mismanaged charter school closures and the department failed to provide adequate guidance or oversight on this issue. I oppose this amendment, and I yield back.
Gentlewoman yields. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentlewoman from Colorado. Those in favor signify by stating aye. Those opposed, no. In the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. The amendment is agreed to.